Today, I'm going to read you another bird book. This week, I read you a book about an ostrich. Then, I read you a book about condors. Today, I will read you a nonfiction book about owls. The author wrote this book to teach you something new about owls. The name of this book is called Owls Overhead. Here's the title page. It tells us one more time that the name of this book is Owls Overhead, and it shows us a little sneak peek of something we may see inside of the book. This book has a table of contents. Not all nonfiction books will have a table of contents. This week, all of our books have had one. I'm going to go over the table of contents with you. Remember, a table of contents gives you an overview of what we will be reading in the book. Flying in the Moonlight, page 4. Eyes for the Night, page 6. Even Better Ears, page 8. Silent Hunters, page 10. Where Owls Live, page 12. Owls Are Out There, page 14. Glossary, page 16. The great thing about a table of contents is if I did not have a lot of time and I couldn't read this whole book, then I could go and see, what do I want to read about? And I could look at my table of contents, and I see that if I wanted to read about where they live, I could go straight to page 12 and learn about that. Or if I wanted to learn about their ears, the table of contents tells me to go to page 8 to read about that. So that's a nice thing about a table of contents, that you can do that. It also says that there's a glossary in this book at the end. A glossary tells you what words mean. If a word is bolded, if it's darker than the other words on a page, you can go to the back to read more about that word. It's important that if you're reading a nonfiction book and there's a glossary and then there's a bolded word that you don't know, it's really important that you go to the back and read more about that word so you can understand what you're reading. The heading, the title on this page says Flying in the Moonlight. So the author's just going to talk about owls flying in the moonlight. It's a moonlit night. A dark shape floats over you and into the trees. It's an owl. More than 200 different kinds of owls live around the world. The way they look and act helps them survive. So the word survive, I'm pointing at it, if you're looking at your screen, is bolded. That means it's darker than the other words on the page. So that means that I can go to the back and look up that word in the glossary. So survive starts with an S, and I need to look and see what that starts with, because when I go to the glossary, I'm going to have to find that word. So these words are in alphabetical order. So I'm going to look at the first letter and look for an S. H-P, there it is. Survive. Let's see what survive means. To stay alive. So now I know what that word means. So now I understand what I was reading. I'm going to go back to page 5. It tells me page 5 is where I was. That's where I just read that word. So I'm just going back and I'm looking at the bottom of the pages to see the numbers till I get to 5. Here we go. So now that I know that survive means to live, I'm going to go back and read that sentence now that I know what that word means. The way they look and act helps them survive. It helps them stay alive. These owls are long-eared owls, and the author wrote that, labeled it in the picture. Eyes for the Night. That's the heading. That's the title of this page. Owls can't move their eyes, so they turn their heads. Owls can turn their head almost all the way around. They can even turn their head upside down. So look how the author shows you an owl whose head is upside down, so you can have a better idea of what that looks like. These are 2 different types of owls. The author labeled what type of owls these are. This one on the left that I'm pointing to is called the northern hawk owl, and the white owl is called the burrowing owl. Owls have big eyes, but they can't see in total darkness. Darkness is bolded. That means that you can go to the glossary and look up that word. They see better in low light than most animals, though. That's because of their pupils, the black circles in the center of their eyes. Their pupils can grow large to let in more light. I'm going to go to this picture and I'm going to read the words, the caption that's under this picture to help me learn more about this picture. So when you're reading nonfiction books, it's really important that you don't skip over things like caption words under a picture, because it helps you learn even more about whatever you're reading about. So this says an owl's pupils are small and bright light, which is the top. See the little black parts? Look how they're small because there's a bright light. They're looking into a bright light. Whereas on the bottom picture, they're large. The pupils are large. The black part is large because there's low light. This heading says even better ears. So the author's only going to talk about ears on this page. Most owls use their hearing to hunt. So hearing and hunt are bolded. We can go to the back if we do not know what that means. Owls have huge ears. On most owls, one ear is higher than the other. Owls can hear prey that's hiding in grass or snow. So prey is bolded. That means it's darker than the other words, and you can go to the back, to the glossary, to see what prey means. Let's go see what prey means. It says they can hear prey that's hiding. So prey starts with P, prey. An animal that is hunted and eaten by another animal. So that's what prey means. So now I understand what the author was saying. They can hear their prey that's hiding in grass or snow. So I'm going to go read the words under this picture. It says, owls have very large ears, but their ears are hidden under feathers. And this is a close-up of an owl's ears. The next picture shows an owl skull, and there's two labels. One label on the left says upper ear, and then the other label says lower ear. So that just shows you how their ears aren't exactly in this leveled. One is higher than the other. Barn owls can hear a mouse and catch it in complete darkness. Barn owls have the best hearing of any animal. So I'm going to read the words, the caption under this picture. Owls, such as barn owls, often crush their prey. The grip in some owls can be 10 times stronger than a person's grip, like a grip as in when you're grabbing something. Now, in the little yellowish orange box, it says pellets, and the picture says owl pellet. And you can read about what a pellet is. It says that owls can't chew their food. Instead, they often swallow animals whole. A part of their stomach rolls unwanted animal parts into small balls called pellets. A few hours after they eat, owls cough up a pellet. When I was younger, in my class, each child got an owl pellet, and we got to take the owl pellet apart, and we got to see what animal our owl ate, because you can find little bones of the animals that they ate, and you can put those bone pieces together. Now, some pieces are missing, but a lot of the bones are still there in the owl pellet. This title heading says Silent Hunters. Owls must attack by surprise if they want to eat. Attack is bolded, so we can go to the back and look that up. The soft feathers that cover their bodies help them fly without sound. This caption says, a seaweed owl flies silently through trees. The main food for owls is small animals, lots of them. In a lifetime, a barn owl may eat 11,000 mice. That's a lot. This caption says, great horned owls are great hunters. They can even catch another bird that is flying. This heading says, where owls live. Sometimes owls can live in many different places. Other owls cannot. So under the picture, it says a barn owl raises its young in a barn. And then in this yellowish orange box, it says an owl's housekeeper. Screech owls hunt snakes. However, they bring the blind snake back to their nest alive. They let it go inside the nest where it eats the bugs that feed on the dead animals stored there. Then the snake becomes a housekeeper. So it's kind of like a helper for them. Spotted owls can only survive in old forests with huge trees. Many of these forests have been cut down. Today, few spotted owls are left. And then the picture shows the spotted owls. Owls are out there is what the heading says. People don't see owls very often, but they are out there. Go out at sunset and listen for their calls. If you stay out too late, people may think you're an owl. A night owl, that is. Under this picture, it says people take pictures of a great gray owl, which is the largest owl in the world. Owl sounds. Owls aren't always quiet. They make different sounds. A great horned owl can bark like a dog and meow like a cat. Barn owls don't hoot, they scream. And this is a picture of a barn owl. And then that's the end. So while we were reading, I made some notes, and this is actually going to help us when we do our Venn diagram. So I made notes. Readers make notes to help you remember, to help them remember what they've read, because there was a lot of different things that were said in the book. So I wrote down important things that I think that I should remember about owls. So I'll read you what I wrote. I said, owls, there are more than 200 kinds. I thought that was very important to know. Then I said, they can't move their eyes, so they turn their head around or upside down. So I think it's important to know how they move their head since they can't move their eyes like we can. Another thing I said is you have to use their hearing. They have very good hearing and they have to use their hearing to hunt. And the last thing I wrote is that they eat small animals. And remember, one type of owl can eat up to 11,000 mice. So if they're eating meat, what would that make them? They're a carnivore. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed that book. Bye.